this is the kind of opportunity you want to bless somebody with. We are here empowering community. Our families have been left behind for so long. So we have what? We have the power of knowledge that we can share and change the lives of every one of the people out there. But what we have to do it together. Remember, Chinese would never come and tell you how to liberate your people. We have to do it ourselves. And charity begins where? At home. So please, I want you to take 10 seconds out of your time and just look at your phone. Just send the Zoom. The Zoom can take up to 100 people. Just send it out to any of your friends. You're not selling anything here. We're educating, empowering. Knowledge is power. So let us change the lives of the people around us, because if you are the only one that's successful and everybody else is struggling, you're still considered broke. So let us see how we can change the lives of people around us. Thank you so much for coming. So we have two parts to this presentation. We have the business part and we have the product part. It's very good to understand the product so you know how to utilize it to change your life. So I have Champion Mutu here, who's going to be sharing with you the business part. You can have a notebook and a pen. Write down any question you have, because at the end of the presentation, we'll have you introduce yourself and we can answer any question that you have. Thank you so much. And Champion Mutu, please take it away.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. For those of you that are fathers out there, happy Father's Day to you. And once again, we still have some time. You can send out a text message to your loved ones, family, friends, or anybody you have in your phone that you know if you have a flat on the road, they can come to your assistance. We're sharing information, we're educating the community, and pretty much there's nothing else required of you, just to listen and see if this works for you. Right. Once again, my name is Mutiu. I'm a licensed financial professional. Apart from that, I'm also a registered nurse and a graduate nurse practitioner. What we do is help clients in the hospitals. And guess what? We see a lot of things that happen there, and we decided to take this crusade to the streets. So what else can we do if not to educate people before life happens, right? I'm not going to hold much of our time, as we have the second part, which will be taken over by Champion Falake. It's educating each and every one of us on what we do for families. So once again, you're welcome, and I will start to share my part. Okay, we want you to think of your income as a table. If just one job is what you have, or two jobs, if something happens to you, life throws a curveball, how long will you survive on what you have saved? A lot of people answer this question. Some people cannot even answer this question because most of America live paycheck to paycheck. So those that are a little bit well ahead, that are, probably steady income earners and are doing pretty good for themselves, some will tell you 2 months, 3 months. The most that we've heard on this platform is probably about 6 months. So if 6 months comes by and you cannot sustain yourself on what you have saved, or if it runs out, what then happens? That's a big question, right? So we're here today just to let you know that there's a system that you can put in place and that will support you should life happen. Just as we say these tables, one has 4 legs. If one loses a leg, guess what? It can still stand on 3. So that's the mindset we want you to have, and just tag along. A lot of you are here today looking for that financial opportunity to get financial freedom, and this is going to be the place for you. You can look around in whatever area or state you're from. In the state of Florida, we have agents in this business in their first 3 years earning $88,000 on an average. In 4 to 7 years, about $315,000. Then in 8 to 10 years, $831,000. Your state might be more than this. Your state might be less than this. Then there are those who are the go-getters. They don't let anything limit their boundaries. They go all out. They earn way more than this. So we are under a team led by Daniel Fumble. Daniel Fumble used to be a nurse practitioner for many years. His wife used to be an anesthesiologist. She is a doctor in the hospital, so she is one of the people that put patients to sleep. So you would ask, why do people with such good career have to quit and come and start something like this? They also found the opportunity, and this opportunity is what led to freedom for them, financial freedom. Even if they had worked for 10 years straight, they could not make what they're currently making in this business. So this business is a system that gives you that leverage to be able to dream again and be where you want to be financially. So this team in 2021 earned a total of $17 million. A lot of people will say $17 million is a lot of money, while some of us that understand the financial aspect of this business know that this is not even a scratch on the surface. Just to give you something in reference, one of the companies out there, just one of them that probably handles your 401k, they paid $1 billion just trying to advertise their products to the world or to the whole United States. How many times or how often do you sit down to get this information on the television or on the radio? Doesn't happen often, right? So what we do as licensed financial professionals is get licensed and sit down with families, thereby getting more results. So if you think now a company spent $1 billion compared to what we're doing, do you think we are worth more? Yes and yes. So 2022, the story changed. Now from 17 million to 43 million. Isn't that crazy? Yes, it is crazy because a lot of us, especially nurses, were burnt out. Let me put it that way. We're overworked, we're underappreciated and underpaid. Yet the work duties continue to increase. But what other options do we have? Guess what other people do? They get a second job. Then they get a PRN. But no, you can do something different. And that's why we're here today, educating you that we can actually do something different. 43 million, this more than doubled in 1 year. When was the last time your income doubled in 1 year? Probably doesn't happen, right? Stay tuned. 2023, it even got bigger, $70 million. Wow, where are we going here? More people are beginning to quit their jobs to do this on a full-time basis, right? 92 million in 2024. And if you take a wild guess, what do you think 2025 will be? 100 or more than 100? You don't need to wait too long. This company is growing at an increasing, it is just unbelievable. But once again, it is there for you and I if only you believe in the power of dreaming big. Now, the power of choice. We are put in a position to help families by these companies. Most of them you already heard of. Most of them currently handle your 401k. But in America, not everybody works for someone. A lot of people are independent. So if these companies are offering 401k to you at your job, what are they offering to the rich? What are they offering to the elite in America? Those that are financially sound. So then you start to wonder, America is not equal for everyone. There's a part of America that's for the informed and another part that's for the uninformed. So we start to see that Fidelity, that used to handle my 401k, I have a different portfolio with them now, not necessarily a 401k. I'm not saying 401k is bad, and nobody in this platform will tell you that 401k is bad. But why don't you diversify your investments? Transamerica is there. Nationwide is on your side. A lot of you have heard this. A lot of you know this. So they're there for us. Now we're going to put faces to the numbers. A lot of people look elegant, look so happy. You know why? Because they are dreaming again. No more frustration, especially nurses. You will see a lot of nurses' names on here. This is one. Don't think it's for nurses only. No, it's not so. It's just that a lot of us are overstressed. Do you know when COVID hit, we are forced to work on the COVID unit, even if we did not have any, experience with respiratory? No, they quickly rushed us into some education and pushed us out there to the front lines. Guess what? We're also human. We have families at home. So a lot of stress came from COVID. So that's why you're going to see a lot of nurses here. So it's not only for nurses. As long as you're 18 and above, no felonies, this business is for you. So instead of getting an overtime or working 2, 3 jobs, look at this, $22,000 in just 3 months. This is a nursing student, $22,000 in 3 months. Can she or can she not pay off her student, her school? Well, she doesn't even need to take a school loan. She can pay her school cash. So that's what we're saying. Helping families here, the side effect is getting paid in cash. And the wonderful part of it is going to come up later for you to know how often we get paid in this business. So this is a pharmacist. We also have a pharmacist in the house in this business. She's also in this team. And she will tell you the way forward is taking advantage of a system that helps you grow even when you're not there. That is when you have arrived at the real America, right? So I can show you names, I can show you a lot of people, but the thing is for you to know that people that look like you and I, people that probably come from where you're from, are doing things differently. So now this information is being presented to you. What are you going to do about it? And we keep, broadcasting every week. just to know and just because. So where Falake is going to tell you guys what we do for families. So it gets to a point in this business, you start to see that we're living the good life. What does that mean? Everybody's dream is usually to earn 6 figures in a year, right? But guess what? We have people doing it in 3 months. Isn't that a wow effect? Yes. Where is this possible in America? Only in this business and only on this platform. So to even make it bigger, there are people earning over $200,000 in just 1 month. It is possible. How big are you going to dream? How many families are you going to help? Guess what? We have hundreds of millions of people in America, and what we know is not exposed to a lot of people. So why don't you get licensed and help educate families so that your side effect or the side hustle can generate these amounts? What if you're looking for just $1,800 just to pay your mortgage for the month? You can help just one family, and this can be the result of it. So dream big. The companies are there. All we're doing is we're working with them. We don't work for them. There's no hourly uh, requirements per week, like 40 hours that the conventional job is. No, you can work 1 day a month, 1 day in 6 months. It is your business. So you have that power of choice in your hands. Now let's get more serious. How do we get into this platform? First of all, you have to clear a background check. What does that mean? That means there should be no felonies, no issues with the law whatsoever. Your residency in America should be as it needs to be, no illegal immigrants and stuff like that. The second step is to obtain your business ID for $125. This is a one-time fee. It is not monthly. It is not recurring. It is a one-time permanent. If you're in the business for 50 years, all you've paid is just $125 to get your business ID. Everybody that I showed you all have a business ID. So it's what companies use to recognize you or locate you in the system. Then, depending on what state, the third requirement is for you to get an online course. State of Florida does require that course to be done. State of Texas does not require it to be done. But I say for a good understanding of what you're about to educate people on, it's good for you to have a sound or foundation to understand what you're going to be educating people. Remember, a lot of people out there also are educated. They will test you. So it's good for you to know your business. Then, fourth and the most important one is getting licensed. You don't get licensed, you are not getting paired with any company or any board here. You have to be licensed and it has to be done by your state. So do you have to get licensed in a different state? Yes, that's also possible, but you just do the reciprocity. So all you have to do is get licensed in your resident state, then apply for a non-resident license, which just takes going online, applying, and paying whatever the state requires. And once that is done, the rest is just to appoint with major careers. We are currently at 20 state licenses and we're continuing to grow. So it's very important if you have agents in any state, you have to get licensed in that state also. This sand represents how much work needs to be done. But guess what? We just have this much done. That means this is just the amount of agents we have to tackle the problem on ground. Guess why you need to join us. This company is getting so much bigger that there's still a lot of room for us. This is not even an updated list of all the millionaires we have in the family, because in this year alone, we have 16 more that are projected to become millionaires. And you know the good thing? You have access to each and every one of these people. Each and every one of them will be able to help and hold your hands should you run into difficulties. So we have leaders in the house that are willing to see us grow and also accomplish our goals. Then a lot of people get paid twice a month in America. In this company, we get paid twice a week. Tuesdays and Fridays are days that we are always smiling. So if you see us smiling on a Tuesday, please do not call psych on us because we're not crazy. It's just because the families we help, the side effect just hit our bank account. So how many families do you want to help? That's the question. How pushed are you to go out there to help families? Then on top of that, we have beginners bonuses. When you start as a training associate, apart from the work you put in, which is to protect families, guess what? Companies still pay you up to $4,000 a month just as a bonus. This is not income. When was the last time that your company gave you a bonus? As nurses, I know they do give us $5 or just buy us pizza. The same thing we're educating patients about. Eat low cholesterol foods. But guess what? Administration is giving us more pizza. How does that add up, right? Broker bonuses. From marketing director and above, you continue to earn quarterly and monthly. So that's extra on top of extra. Then when you hit the marketing director level, you start to earn stocks and shares in the company. If I may ask you where you currently work, how much stocks and shares do you own? Probably nothing, right? You work 12 hours, they give you your $12, that's the end. Nothing more, nothing less. But here, it's a different perspective. So parent company is Aegon, who currently worth over 400 billion, and it's continuing to grow. So this is one of the best parts. I love to travel. You can catch me in St. Louis today. You catch me in Miami tomorrow. I'm in San Diego. I love to travel. And guess what? When we joined this company, travel even became all expense paid. So when we got to the position of SMD, we got a couple of promotions, and I think on this trip about 300 families were taking all expense paid. So we were at Ocho Rios. The following year, we went to Punta Cana. I mean, we just came from Bahamas like a couple of months ago. So the space to dream in this company or in this business is big. So at this point, I will hand it over to Champion Folake and let her do her part. Stay tuned.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Yeah, you see, when I hear this, I get excited because I've been in America for almost 20 years, and I always wonder, like, what if this opportunity found me 20 years ago? We cannot go back and change the past, but we can actually make a change on what the end is going to be. So our tomorrow can be better by us utilizing this opportunity. When I was in Africa, my sister would be like, why don't you go to find opera and let her find you a gig? Because it is believed that you can easily, liberate yourself when you come to America. But America is a place where without a system, you have been left behind. The salary and the what they call it, paycheck they give us is the drug that they give us to forget our dream. A lot of us have big dreams. We come to America with the mindset of changing a lot of things in our country, the lives of our family. But when you hit that job and they're giving you that peanut, you forget and you start exchanging your time for money. And that is modern day slavery. Nobody's forcing you, but you need it. You need the money, so you now exchange your time. But what if your time is priceless? What if you can take back that time so you can earn more for what you're doing? So I want you to sit back and relax because I'm going to share with you the product that we have been missing in our community. Okay. So fighting financial ignorance. Do you know that one of the reasons the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer in America is because the subject of money is taught at home. It's not taught in school. Your children will go to school. They don't teach them about money, but they teach them to work and become what? And become a worker, to work for the money. Because things has to change, right? Do you know that in order to save our community, saving your future, we live in one of the wealthiest countries. America is blessed. If it wasn't blessed, do you think all immigrants would be traveling to come to America for the greener pasture? No, we will stay in Africa. But we come here for the greener pasture. But do you realize that as blessed as we are, some people are begging on the street of America, not because of lack of money, but because of misplacement and lack of financial education. You can be rich one day and be broke the next day because the system can fail you if you don't understand how it works. You can work hard all your life but still retire broke. Do you know some people are working now? They might have been working for the past 20 years and they will retire and they might not even have up to $40,000 in their retirement plan. So how do they want to retire? We do so much to raise our kids, but yet we want to watch them to end up in lots of student debt. Understanding how money works is part of raising your family. We all want to retire comfortably, but we fail to plan. And remember, failure to plan is planning to fail. There's nobody that's more interested in your future than you. You have to start. You have to put a plan in place. So, what do you need to do? You have to understand money. You have to understand how to make money work for you. You have to understand how money, like they said, do what the Romans do. Do you know when you come to America, you have to do what the Americans are doing? How are they managing their money? The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people are willing to put the work in, and unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So my question to you, what account do you have that goes tax-free? I want you to ponder on this question. What account do you have that goes tax-free? Let's take a close look. We have Roth IRA. Do you know that Roth IRA has a limit of $7,000? So what do elites do that have millions of dollars? It gets you thinking, right? They use what they call the 7702 account, which is an IUL. It allows them to put unlimited amount of money in there, and they don't pay any taxes on the dividends. This account is so big that you require a licensed financial professional to show you on how to get started. Even the people that have your 401k, they'd have this product, but they will never show you. That is how the system works. Okay? Now, common tax code that is given to middle class. At your job, you have Roth IRA, you have 401k. But you see, all these products are variable. They go up one day, then you lose money. You make money, you lose money. But the first rule about money is make money, but never lose money. The elite use a different portfolio. They use an index portfolio. It protects the money. The money grows. They never lose a dime because it's index. You have long-term care. The day you need to go to rehab, you have unlimited amount of funds that is given to you above your what? Above your health insurance to carry your expenses. Remember, your health insurance does not pay your mortgage. It does not pay your water bill. You need money for upkeep. The plan grows tax-free and is passed on to your beneficiary also tax-free. So the question is, as you're listening to me right now, what account do you use for your child to go to college without taking student loan? You came to America, you had to take student loan. You are actually paying student loan right now. And if you pay the barest minimum, you're going to be paying the student loan for the rest of your life. It's sad, but that's how the system is. So let's take a close look. We have the 529. In Florida, we have what they call Florida prepaid. You see, that account, it puts your child as a disadvantage. Because when you have that account, when your child applies for scholarship, your child is considered as already having money in that account. So you putting money in an account like that already set your child to the back instead of them to win scholarship that's going to put them at the top. But the elite have a different portfolio they use for their college plan for their kids. They use the IRC 7702, which is used for college planning. When their child have this, their child is still considered as not having any funds for college, that their child will still be considered for scholarship. Why would we lie? Why would we want to set our kids to have less of what they should have because of the portfolio that we're opening? And remember, where you set the account 529 means that your child has to go to school in that state. If they go to school in another state, then you have to pay penalty. They cannot even go to school abroad. You have to pay You have to pay taxes on the money. And remember, the RRC 529 is a variable bucket, which means you can lose money in that bucket if the market crashes. The elite always do it differently. So let me tell you, what account do you have that bypass probate? I know some people might be like, what is probate? Do you know that they always advertise divorce court, marriage court, but probate court is hardly advertised on TV? So we're going to take a close look. Do you know that over 10,000 people start GoFundMe every day because of medical and memorial? Somebody died. Somebody is sick. But why? A majority of these people are immigrants because of lack of financial knowledge. Do you know when you have money and you now what? You owe money to the bank, to your mortgage company, student loan, all this money are called debts. But the day you pass away, that debt becomes an estate. The government now set up what they call probate court to help you pay off that debt. Whether you don't even have debt, it is a court that's set up for everybody. The day you pass away, that nurse calls that 1-800 number and says, this person is deceased, expired. The Social Security becomes inactive. Some people have their money sitting down for their children's college funds. all those accounts will be frozen. It takes about 6 months to 2 years for them to result an estate. So I want you to take a close look, but because you might not understand. Do you know if you have money in your checking account, $40,000, they will freeze it because it's in your social security. You have a joint account, unless you have set up that what? That your wife becomes the beneficiary of the account and becomes what? The owner, they will freeze the money. CD frozen, your 401k frozen, IRA frozen, Roth frozen, stock frozen. Index annuity and life insurance are the only two accounts that are not frozen. Bonds frozen, college fund frozen. Now you see account that is going to be frozen the day you exit this world. Let me tell you, everybody has a date they're going to exit this world. Nobody knows the date. But the day it happens, you either leave your family with debts or you leave them a check. There's no in between. You either leave them with debt where they freeze all your account and they literally have to beg for money to do anything to bury the remains. So why would we make our money work for the system or the government when our family members can have the money protected in account like this? We fail to plan for the day we're going to exit. Everybody will plan their day. You're doing birthday, feeding people that might not even like you, buying food and sharing to people that will come and eat your food. But yet we do not plan for the day we exit so our loved ones don't suffer. Do you know it costs a minimum of $10,000 to bury somebody in America? Do you have that $10,000 sitting in a liquid asset that's protected that the government cannot freeze it? So that way, the day something happens to you, your family don't have to start begging $20, $50 from people to bury you. Remember, we're not talking about death insurance. We're just giving you all the properties it has so you understand how to utilize it. The day something happens to us, they might not post the picture of the children on the GoFundMe, but they will definitely put the name of your family and say, Mr. and Mrs. So lost this and they're begging for help. This is what it looks like. Failure to plan is planning to fail. Being financially successful is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep and how many generations and how hard that money works for you. You get paid from your job today. On Friday, you got paid. That money, after paying your bills, do you know if your great-grandchild will taste that money? If they cannot taste that money, then the money is not working for you. This is why we talk about financial strategy, creating a legacy, creating what? Wealth for our family. We have fixed index annuity. There's nobody here that doesn't have an old job. Your old job has your 401k. When you go to a new job, you roll it over into what? Into jail in your new job. Why do that? The elite have a different way they run their retirement. They use an annuity. Annuity makes sure that you can never lose your money and you can never retirement money. There's more than 15 advantages and we can take a close look. This is why we're talking, because the 401k they give us at our job is a variable. It is meant to keep us minority. So let me ask you, do you want to stay minority or do you want to elevate? If you want to elevate, you have to think of all the 401k you have left behind and we can assist you in helping you to relocate that money and you don't pay penalty. It is the law. It is the law and it avoids probate. If your money is sitting down right here, it's going to go to probate. But if it's sitting down in annuity, it avoids probate. It just depends on where you have your money. What is the number one cause of poverty in America? It's critical and chronic illness. Do you know that stroke, about 795,000 people have stroke every year? We're even having young generation coming out with these symptoms. It's not old people's sickness anymore. Young people are coming out with this problem. Heart attack, 805,000 people. Cancer, about 1.7 million people. Do you know out of every 4 men, one of them will have prostate cancer? We're celebrating Father's Day today. We're celebrating the men in our lives. The question is, if there's one out of every 4 of them will have cancer, Doesn't that mean that we need to get protected? That in case it happens, financial burden should not be one of the problems? Do you know that stress or financial stress can kill somebody faster than even the diagnosis? How many days forward could you survive if you were to stop working? I want you to just take a minute. Just think about this. How many days could you survive if you were to stop working? Not because you just chose to stop working, but because of sickness. Because you cannot work. Maybe a diagnosis of cancer, a diagnosis of end-stage renal failure, blindness. We have a medical doctor that just lost her vision. She started having macular degeneration. They took her license away. That was her bread. That was what brings money home. But thank God that she has what? The policy, and she has the business that kept her afloat. How much longer can you survive if this was your situation? What account do you have that will replace that income of yours if you were to fall sick and could no longer work? You need a plan B. And that is why we're here, exposing you to the opportunity of you planning, because you might not have thought about this before. So let me tell you the story of Nurse Grace. Nurse Grace is a very, very hardworking woman. You know, healthcare workers, we're passionate about changing lives. She loves what she does. She was present on a Zoom like this, and we presented the information, and she realized that she's helping people, but who's going to help her the day she falls sick? Who's going to help her own family in case something happens? So she decided to take action. She took a policy and protected her income. Remember, income protection as a replacement, that if something happens to her and she falls sick, that they were going to give her money. 6 months down the road, this nurse started having stomach pain. Remember, we nurses, when we're sick, we go to the hospital like that's the last resort. We try everything. She tried everything, nothing worked. She went to the hospital. They diagnosed her with pancreatic cancer. I do not pray that any one of us get this kind of message. She was devastated. She was sad. But you know one thing? She remembered that if somebody told her once that if she has any of the critical condition, that she will get a check. So she called her agent. They called Transamerica and put the claim in. She got a check of $947,000 as a check because she has pancreatic cancer. The insurance is not what made her sick. The insurance is not what's going to kill her. But the insurance made sure that she's not financially down while she's battling with the cancer. Do you think you can work 40 hours when you're battling with cancer, going for chemo and radiation? It's not possible. So let me show you what Nurse Grace said. Grateful to be alive and still praying for God to help her battle and fight this cancer. She did not lose her home. She paid off that house. She paid off her car. Let me ask you, if this was your own situation and you were diagnosed with something like this, would we be begging for you not to lose your house because you don't have any income? Or would we be getting a check from the insurance company because you got protection? Remember, failure to plan is planning to fail. The goal is early intervention. If you think education is expensive, I want you to wait until you see how much ignorance costs, lack of information. Do you know that we have a woman from Africa? She heard this information. She's a nurse practitioner. She has all the knowledge you can think about. She's knowledgeable. She has her what? She has her master's degree. She makes about $200,000 a year. She sat to the presentation. You know what she said? She said, my plate is full. She said, I'm doing a project in Africa. I have Susu. I'm doing America. I have this. I have that. She listed everything but herself. Remember, this same lady has what? Insurance on her iPhone that she's paying. She has insurance on her car that she's paying. But she refused to get the protection on her own life. We went about our business. But you know what happened? Annual physical. Everybody goes for annual physical. She went for annual physical. That is how the lab showed that this lady was in end-stage renal failure. They had to start dialysis. And I told you, I said, dialysis, being renal failure is one of the conditions that is protected with this policy. But she didn't take action. They started what? Dialysis Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She goes to dialysis on Monday. She comes out, she's tired on Tuesday. She goes to dialysis on Wednesday, she's tired. This is how she could not keep up working. The income dropped. This is the lady that was living in a big house. She was living in a big house because she makes $200,000. She's not a small girl. Her kids were going to private school. Do you know they had to downgrade those kids to public school? They had to sell some of the cars because the income dropped. Lifestyle changed. When her friends and family started seeing that they were struggling, in our community, we're very good with stepping up. That's how they step up. They say, let's do GoFundMe. They started begging for her. But let me tell you, if you don't plan for yourself, nobody's going to plan for you. They were putting $20 in GoFundMe, $50, $30, $100. By the end of the GoFundMe, they were only able to come up with $1,132. I want you to ask yourself this. Can this pay your own mortgage? Can this pay your own mortgage? Let me tell you, Florida, a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom is costing about $2,000 to $3,000 in mortgage. This cannot even pay half of it. Do you know that now she is in a basement of a friend's house? But what if she had just taken time to do something small? Just like Nurse Grace, that money would have gone a long way. Do you know the project she's doing in Africa now is frozen? She cannot do anything. And nobody will complete that house. That house is just there. Failure to plan is planning to fail. If you think education is expensive, I want you to think of how much ignorance costs. This guy, Bob Lee, may his soul rest in peace. Late Bob Lee, he was the founder of Cash App. Do you know that the man was worth $10 million? But when he passed away, he did not know about indexing his money. His CPA did not know about it because the CPA is not licensed. So some of you might be like, oh, I have a CPA. But you see, just like a cardiology might not know what is happening with your gut because it's specialty. We are specialized in index universal life and life insurance product. This man, to bury him and care for his children because all his money is now frozen in probate court. Do you know, unfortunately, due to Bob's sudden passing, his asset will flow through probate. As of Friday afternoon, the fund had only racked up to $8,000 out of $50,000. This is a multi-millionaire. All his multi-millionaire friends, they could not get $50,000. Remember, everybody have their own bills to pay. If you don't plan for yourself, do you think somebody else will use their plan to plan for you? The time to act is now. Chadwick Boseman died a couple of years ago. He was worth $3.8 million in his estate. His wife got $1.15 million. His parent got 1.15, and the government took $1.15 million. The government took more money than the family. That is the system. Probate court now charged that estate $900,000. Do you know how much $900,000 is? A lot. A lot. I'm going to tell you about this personal family incident that happened. I have a sister in America. She came to America last year. So I talked to her about getting protection. She got a protection. She got $100,000 protection for her family, for herself, actually. Unfortunately, one day she was driving on the highway and got off the exit because she was going to work at night. That is how a truck head-on hit her, deployed the back of her car, and totally crushed her car. She did not die. But she told me that what flashed in her mind was like, I'm only leaving $100,000 for my children. The waiting game is a losing game. She is now looking at increasing her policy to more than $100,000. That is her. She even has something. What about you? If something happens to you and this happens, and something like this leads you to be unable or unable to work, what are you living for your children? What are you living for your family? We have two kinds of people in America. We have the uninformed and we have the informed. Uninformed in America has no knowledge or no use with life insurance. They believe bank is their only source of safety net. They use susu. But the informed in America knows that IUL is a protection. It's a way for you to liberate and grow wealth for your family. The person that does susu does $500 every paycheck, making $1,000 every month, while the informed does an IUL of $1 million and put $1,000 every month. Different, the same money, but different mindset. Mindset of a poverty mindset, and this is millionaire mindset. The day the uninformed get sick and get diagnosed with breast cancer, the uninformed is going to do GoFundMe because there's no money. The person that is informed that has an index universal life will get a check that's going to give them 90% of $1 million. I want you to think about it. Who would you rather be? The uninformed or the informed? When I heard about this, I protected everybody in my family. I have more than 12 policies, my entire family. And one of them, let me tell you what it states. Critical illness means that if you fall sick, remember those list of diseases I said, end-stage renal failure, blindness, paralysis, Alzheimer's, AIDS, coronary artery disease, ALS, any of those conditions, critical illness, they will give up to 90% of $1 million. They'll give me $900,000 while I'm alive. Remember, we call it living benefit. You enjoying your money while you're alive. Chronic illness. If you cannot do 2 of the 6 ADLs, you cannot eat by yourself. You cannot put on clothes by yourself. You remember when somebody has stroke, they cannot do all that. You cannot transfer from the bed to the chair. You cannot poo-poo by yourself. You cannot do just two out of the 6. They will give you $900,000 because that is what my policy is. If God forbid, the doctor says you have less than 12 months to live, they'll give you what? They'll give you the whole money while you're alive. Will I ever put $1 million in there before they'll give me $1 million? No. If it happens within 1 month, I'll get the money. That is what you pay yourself. So the question is, how are you paying yourself? Planning for your future. So let me ask you this question. Please pay attention to this question. You can take a screenshot of it too. And you can send it to your friends. Let them read it. If you were to die today, God forbid, and I attend your funeral, which of the following do you think your family would find more valuable? Would they prefer a $20 donation to GoFundMe, which is what we normally do? A condolence card that you can get from the dollar store, a dish of food, fufu, arrangement of flowers, or a check that will cover the cost of the funeral, any remaining medical bills, pay off all the debt that you owe, provide college money for the children, and replace all the years of lost income. If E is the answer, please, I want you to first thank the person that invited you. That thank you for not leaving me behind. And now tell them that I want to protect myself. It doesn't matter how much. Just get something small. Because the waiting game is a losing game. You don't want to be on the losing end. So life insurance has changed over the years. It can be your bank. I needed to pay off my car. I went in there and asked them, how much money do I have that I can take out? They say you can take out money. This is 2023. I took out $31,000. One of my sons turned 16. I wanted to buy a car. I took out $10,000. And my money never left my bank too. Because you get to eat your cake and have it. It's a system. So we have different kinds of life insurance. You might be asking, you keep saying life insurance. Which one are you talking about? Group life insurance is the one they give you at your job. It ends when you leave the job. It only pays out if you die on the job. Tell me who you know that has died on your job. In your job, who do you know that has died on the job? It's very deceptive. You get fired, it's done. You leave, it's done. So it's very, very deceptive, and it's not belong. If you don't die on the job, it doesn't give you any money. We have a guy that was driving to work and he got shot. A stray bullet passed and hit him, and he died right as he was driving into the work in New York. The job did not give him any money. They did not give his family money because he did not die on the clock. He did not die in the building. He died outside the building. Term policy is temporary. It's like betting on your life. Who knows when they're going to die? They can tell you to get 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. What do you do after 29 years of pain and you don't die? Why gamble in your life? You pay for that long. You have until you die before they pay out money to your family. Whole life covers you for your entire life to age 100. You have a cash value, but you don't get the cash value upon death. Then you have the universal life, which is the real deal. This is the what? This is the American pocket knife. This is what the elites are using as their own personal bank. So we have power of choice. We are non-captive. We don't work for any of these companies. We work with them. We have more than 100 A-rated company out there. All we do is find the right company, find the client, and merge them together and make sure they have the product that they need. What is the best time to apply for life insurance? When is the best time to apply for your children? Is the day they were born. As early as 15 days old, you can get a policy for your child, and you lock in as cheap as it can be. When is the best time to protect your spouse? Is the day you meet them, because you never know what's going to happen. When is the best time to protect yourself? Was yesterday, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. So when is the second best time? Is today. I will think about it. I'll do more research. I'll get back to you. When has he ever helped anybody? Have you ever gone to buy your car and you tell the car dealer and tell them, I want to drive this car home and then I'm going to go think about the insurance I'm going to. It doesn't happen like that. You have to protect yourself now. Don't wait. Which should I pay first, a home or a policy? If you have a home, you don't have a policy, the day you lose your job, you don't have any money and you cannot pay that mortgage, that house will be foreclosed. It ceases to be yours. It becomes the property of the bank. What about you getting a small policy that in case you lose your job, it will be an income replacement account for you that you can still keep your home? Financial strategy. The waiting game is a losing game. Don't be at the losing end. What is the reason why life insurance is not for everybody? The health status. Speeding ticket. Maybe you're the type that's always jumping red light. You're always getting into an accident. It might not be for you. Criminal record. You've gone to jail. It might not be for you. Residency status. Are you legal? Because you have to be legal in America or have a work permit for you to get it. Money, wealth, life insurance. I want you to look at what they are. They say, if you want to hide information, they hide it in books. We have to learn to read books, not just because of school, but because of self-development. How the wealthy use life insurance as a tax-free personal bank to supercharge their savings. I want you to scratch the wealthy, how anyone can use life insurance as a tax-free personal bank. Do you know I told you 95% of people are going to end up broke in America, and the 5% that are not going to end up broke, they're using life insurance. Corporation own life insurance. Do you think corporation is going to die? But yet they have life insurance. The wealthy 5%. Let me show you. Your bank. Bank of America has 19 billion in life insurance. Wells Fargo has 17 billion. JP Morgan has 10 billion. Are they going to die? Do they have blood? But you see, it is not insignificant that banks place billions of dollars in life insurance. It is a reflection of the value they place on this powerful asset. For banks, it provides the ultimate in safety and stability. It is so safe that is what the bank use their money to put in. So what are we doing? We trust the bank so much and put our money in the bank, but banks don't trust themselves. They put their money in what? In IUL. Do you know money in a life insurance is so secure that you cannot sue them and touch it? It has bankruptcy protection and it has lawsuit protection. Nobody can sue you and touch your money in your IUL and your life insurance. Companies that own life insurance, I want you to look at this. Walt Disney, do you know Walt Disney built Walt Disney from the cash value from his life insurance? He couldn't get a loan from the bank, but his life insurance is what he used to build Walt Disney. And he's making a whole lot of money that every one of us were pouring more money in there for us to go and enjoy the roller coaster. And yet he's building more wealth because he's proactive. Starbucks, and do you drink Starbucks? Are you looking at Starbucks to make sure there's no blood? It has life insurance. But you that you are drinking, you don't have life insurance, even though you have one life. Starbucks has it. Nike, Bells has it. Lillian Vermont, Pfizer has life insurance. I want to think about it. Do you see Mama and Papa shop here? We need to educate those Mama and Papa shop. Those our small businesses. They need to own life insurance too. So that way, if somebody sue them, their company can still continue. You see this company, anybody sue them, they are still standing because they have their money protected. But our roadside business owners, they sue them one time, the business will collapse because they don't have anything. The lawsuit will clean them out. So knowledge is power. Let's empower ourselves. Businesses, you have to own businesses. We just exposed you to opportunity that you can own a business by just paying $125 for your business code and a $30 class and become a licensed financial professional and do what we do. I want you to think about it. Think about what you can do with extra $2,000 without having to step out of your house. Without having to step out of your house. $2,000 extra. And people, we're passionate about helping family. The default is the money that they pay us as commission. And the amazing thing is, it's 1099. It's a business. You write it off in taxes. You write it off in taxes. We have a millionaire boss. The only requirement is you have to be 18 years old and also get that license. And you become what? You become a student in the millionaire boss. We have a multi-millionaire that's our mentor, that's educating, that is so selfless, teaching us. We just came back from a mastermind where he taught us and trained us for 3 days on how to run our business. The question is, are you willing to unlearn and relearn and come and learn how to build a business for yourself? Because as long as you're working at your job, you're building your job for the company. When you leave that job, you cannot take it home with you. But this business, that license is yours for life. And the day you cease to use that license, you can pass it on to your children, for your children to use your code and make money. We're in the millionaire business. I want you to check on your phone. You can ask ChatGPT, what is the fastest business that's growing millionaires in America? It is the financial industry, not nursing, not doctors, financial industry. So you are just one step away from a breakthrough. We are here sharing information on how you can change your life. Don't try to go for overtime. Spare eating one burger for one day and get that class, and let's get you licensed. And just watch how your life will change. The school is 10 years. In that 10 years, you'll be a millionaire. And all it is to show up in class. And that's it. Just be intentional. So financial education, one of the reasons the rich get richer, the poor get poorer is because the middle class struggle in debt, because the subject of money is taught at home and it's not taught in school. There's another best-selling book. It says what? The biggest banker of all, former Reserve Chairman Bernard, has majority of his asset in life insurance. So you wonder, if he's in what? Banking. Why is his money in life insurance? Because what? Ironically, banks are legally required to have a foundation in very safe liquid asset. They're talking about safety again. It is so safe that bank require them to have it, and it's considered as tier 1. So life insurance is like a parachute. If you don't have it the first time, you need it. There's no second chance. I want to share with you guys a story of Mr. AJ. Mr. AJ is one of our own agents. Let me make the volume. It's going to play. Just bear with me, because you see, we have to share this information with our family and friends. So please, you can also look up this video on your own, but I want you to pay attention and listen to what he said.
When I go from event to event, sharing this story, people say, AJ, we heard about your story and we were able to meet with some families, and because of that story, they took action. That in itself gives me a kind of zeal and energy to continue to spread the story more and more. 9 years ago, I decided to relocate to the United States of America, and that was when I got the first contact with the WFG opportunity. The agent explained why it is important for me to put in place an index universal life insurance policy under Transamerica. That meeting led to me putting in place a policy for myself. She added the critical and chronic disease rider. When added to a policy, God forbid if I have any disease like cancer, stroke, Alzheimer, I'm able to access up to 90% of the death benefit in my policy as living benefit to take care of myself. 2 years down the road, I discovered that research has shown 1 out of every 4 black men will have prostate cancer in their lifetime, as long as they live above the age of 45. So that was a bit disturbing to me. And my doctor said, AJ, we need to find out the probability of cancer occurring in your prostate gland. Blood samples were taken, and out of the 12 blood samples that was taken from my prostate gland, 11 were found to be with cancer. That cancer was staged to be at stage 4. And the doctor said to me, AJ, we're not sure of even how long more you're going to live. It was a devastating day. I was depressed and I was so anxious. I've happened to be a breadwinner, and a lot of people are dependent on me. Who's going to be taking care of my children, my family? So I actually asked God a lot of questions. That why me? Why? Why would I be down with cancer? And I kept on asking that God should just help to elongate my life. But in the midst of all of this, I suddenly remembered that I had a policy. And I remember that when that policy was being set up by the agent, she told me that, God forbid, if I have any ailment like cancer, I might be able to access the critical and chronic disease rider to take care of myself. It was like light shining upon me in darkness. Immediately, I called the agent. We put in the applications together, and that was submitted to Transamerica. And some weeks later, somebody called me from Transamerica, and she said, AJ, guess what? I have good news. Your application has been approved. I remember vividly how it felt. Every anxiety just disappeared with that singular statement. To be honest, I temporarily forgot about whatever is called prostate cancer. I came home, I remember, and I said, hey, honey, guess what? I just received a call from Transamerica that the claim has been approved. My wife jumped over me. She hugged me, almost carrying me to the air. Honestly, that was one of the happiest moments in our marriage. Transamerica made a promise, and they delivered on their promises. And as I sit with you here today, I am prostate cancer free. No cancer cell was found. My relationship with God is clear, and I hold that in high esteem. I believe that the more people that hear about my story, the better. For people to see that life events are real. And that is the reason why it is important for every one of us to put in place protection. When I hear stories of people taking action based on what they heard about my own story, it gives me that energy, the zeal to want to continue to spread the story more and more. And that is the goal.
Thank you so much for being patient and watching that video. Every time I was able to be present in a hall where he presented to us and he's prostate cancer free. So, but remember what he said, financial stress. The day he heard that the claim was approved, he forgot about the cancer. But remember, if he didn't have that financial support, he would have been dealing with financial stress, which kills faster than even the diagnosis of cancer. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. And right now I'm going to hand it over to Champion Mutu so you can have people that are new to the group so they can introduce themselves. Champion Mutu, please take it away.
Thank you so much for a beautiful and wonderful presentation. Like you guys see, it's not all about the money. It's just the side effect of what we do. We are happy to go out there. Remember I said it, this company spent $1 billion advertising on television and on the radio, but who actually drives this message home? We are the ones that sit down with families. We are the ones that show them the strategies. We are the ones that show them how important it is should disease or sickness happen to protect their income. So what we do is not something we take lightly. I mean, in the past couple of weeks, we have been seeing claims being put in, being approved, and it makes us happy that we are those ones that step into your family's house or your loved ones and present a check based on action that they took. And God willing, if you don't pass away, there's something for you to fall back on, so you don't have to think about the 2 jobs or the 3 jobs you do have. So once again, the power of choice is with us. We get licensed, we get appointed by these companies, and all we do is just educate. So if someone invited you here today, please, the floor is open. You can all unmute. I think everybody can unmute now. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who invited you, and please follow up with them. Because if they invited you here, you need to follow up with them so you can clarify if you need a product or if you need to, be an agent also and spreading the gospel. So once again, we're here every Sunday. This is what we do. As senior brokers, we educate the community and, put the information out there. Floor is open. Go ahead, please. I think everybody can unmute, right? I don't think I muted everybody, did I?
Well, they can. So we have Diana Perez.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome.
Hi, my name is Diana Perez. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I was introduced by you guys. And I really enjoyed what I see. Yeah, me and my husband were listening, so we're thinking about joining. It's a matter of when, timing.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you for making it. I really appreciate it. And I'm always available. My wife is always available at any time. I mean, we live close to each other, so we can always meet up and set up something, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Floor is open. Welcome, guests.
We have Temi. I think Temi might be new.
So every Sunday we're here. I mean, people are just waiting to unmute. You can go ahead and talk. If we're here, and this is just what we do. Sometimes it happens that some people want to see what a policy looks like. So if there are no questions, if somebody's interested, we usually do that after this. We go into a breakout room and we show you what policies look like, what companies and their rates are like. Remember, we don't work for any of them. So whatever works for you is what we go by. So if a company doesn't work for you because of a pre-existing illness, guess what? The next one might have something better for coverage. So we have to find that sweet spot for you and make sure you understand what your policies are doing for you. Because some people just get it like, oh, because you're my friend, it shouldn't be because of us. You have a reason why you're getting the policy. So you have to understand what it does for you. Then every year on the anniversary of your policy, we're also there to go through and review what your policy has done for you in the past year. So it's not a matter of like, we just put a policy for you to goodbye or refer more people to us. No, we really care about you and we want you to know in the next year, if your policy has made this much for you, let's reevaluate your situation. Do you think you need more coverage, or what are your plans for the future? Is your aim towards retirement and you feel like you haven't caught up on retirement? We can structure something else for you to gear towards retirement. So these things have a lot of buckets in them. They have a lot of things that they can cover, from tax advantages for if you have a small business, getting a leeway on taxes legally. So it's a lot of things that we do educate about. And as the year goes by, guess what? Product providers are calling us. Hey, we have a new product in the market. When are you available for training? So we have to, present ourselves for training, learn, and bring back to the community. So we're not always idle also. We're meeting in conventions, we're meeting at trainings, and it's a lot that goes on behind the scene. So it's not just all about selling. And one thing I like to tell people is that we do not like to use the term selling, because when we say we are selling and someone says I'm not buying, guess what? You have just lost a potential customer.
You're freezing. You're frozen. You're frozen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Maybe can I hear you?
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Maybe
I think
he cannot hear you.
he's frozen. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
have so we have some leaders in the house. I'm going to have Champion Carla, who's an MD, that she can just give us a word or two. Because remember, we're here. Don't be afraid, like, oh, you know what, I cannot talk to people. When you were born, you literally don't know how to walk. You had to learn how to crawl and then